If you've been using Claude for legal work and finding that the output is inconsistent, good one session, generic the next, there's usually one reason. Claude starts from zero every time you open a new conversation. It doesn't know you're a lawyer. It doesn't know what jurisdiction you work in. It doesn't know the matter you're working on. And it doesn't know whose side you're on. Claude Projects fixes all of that. This episode covers what projects are, how to set one up, what to put in it, and how to use it across a matter, step by step, from the beginning, with no assumptions about what you already know. Let's get into it. Before we get into how projects work, it's worth being clear about what problem they're solving, because understanding the problem makes the solution obvious. 3 problems. The re-explanation problem. Without a project, every conversation is a cold start. Claude doesn't know you're a commercial attorney. It doesn't know the matter is governed by Delaware law. It doesn't know whose side you're on. You either re-explain at the start of every session, which is slow, or you get generic output that doesn't reflect your actual position. The document problem. You upload a contract in one conversation. The next conversation has no memory of it. Every document you want Claude to reference has to be re-uploaded every session. For a multi-document matter, that friction adds up fast. The consistency problem. Without persistent instructions, Claude's register, assumptions, and output format shift between conversations. The output that worked well on Tuesday doesn't replicate on Thursday because Claude is starting from a different baseline. A project fixes all 3. Once. Permanently. For every conversation in that matter. A project has 3 components. The first is instructions. Instructions are persistent. Claude reads them at the start of every conversation in the project. This is where you put your role, your jurisdiction, whose side you're on, and what you want Claude to always and never do. It runs silently in the background. You never have to type it again. A simple example. You are assisting a commercial attorney acting for the buyer under Delaware law. Do not add citations. Flag any assumptions you make. That single instruction changes every piece of output Claude produces for that matter. The second component is knowledge. Knowledge is the document base for the project. Upload the draft agreement, the term sheet, the client's key documents. They're available in every conversation without re-uploading. The third component is conversations. A project can contain as many conversations as the matter needs. Matter intake in one, clause drafting in another, client briefing in a third. Each conversation inherits your instructions and has access to your knowledge. Each one starts calibrated without you having to do anything. Here's how to set one up. 6 steps under 5 minutes. Step 1. Open Claude.ai and find Projects. Log in. In the left sidebar, you'll see Projects below your recent conversations. Click it. Projects is a Claude.ai feature. It's in the chat interface, not in Cowork. You need a pro or team plan to access it. Step 2. Click New Project. The button is in the top right. Give the project a name. Name it after the matter. Smith versus Jones, breach of contract, is more useful than Project 1 inch when you're looking for it in 3 months. Step 3. Add your project instructions. Once the project is created, click Edit Project Instructions. These instructions run in every conversation. Write them once. Claude reads them every time. We cover exactly what to write here in the next section. Step 4. Upload your knowledge documents. Click Add Content. Upload the draft agreement, the client's brief, the relevant precedents. These become available in every conversation without re-uploading. Step 5. Start a new conversation inside the project. Click New Conversation inside the project. This conversation inherits your instructions and has access to your knowledge. Just start working. Step 6. Run multiple conversations. They're all connected, as many as the matter needs. Each one has the same context. None of them need to be rebriefed. Your project instructions are the most important thing you set up. They run silently in every conversation. Get them right, and every output is calibrated from the first word. Here's a complete example you can adapt. This one is for an M&A acquisition matter. You are assisting a commercial attorney acting for the buyer in an acquisition of a Delaware incorporated technology company. Apply U.S. commercial law standards throughout. The governing law is Delaware. Do not add legal citations unless I ask for them. Do not change defined terms without flagging it. Do not introduce new obligations or carve-outs that aren't already in the draft. Flag any assumptions you make. If you are uncertain about a legal proposition, say so. Do not present uncertainty as fact. 4 elements in that instruction. Role: commercial attorney acting for the buyer. Claude knows who you are and whose interests it protects. Jurisdiction: Delaware, U.S. commercial law. Claude stops defaulting to a generic common law register. Constraints: no citations, no altered defined terms, no new obligations. These are the 3 most common ways Claude causes problems in legal drafting. And uncertainty: flag assumptions, name uncertainty. This is the instruction that separates useful Claude output from professionally risky output. A Claude that says, "I'm not certain about this," is a more useful legal tool than one that presents uncertainty as fact. Always include it. The knowledge base is where you put the documents Claude needs to reference across the matter. But it's not a filing cabinet. You want to be selective about what goes in. What to upload: the key transaction or dispute documents, the draft agreement, the complaint, the client's brief. The documents Claude will need to reference across multiple conversations. Your firm's standard templates or precedents. If you want Claude to draft in the style of your standard NDA or employment agreement, upload the precedent. Claude will reference it when drafting. Matter-specific reference material: the term sheet, the disclosure schedule, the regulatory filing the transaction is subject to. What not to upload: don't upload every document in the matter file. Too many documents dilute Claude's ability to find what's relevant. Be selective. Upload what Claude needs, not everything you have. And apply the same judgment to confidential client documents that you'd apply to any cloud storage decision. Only upload what's necessary for the task. A targeted knowledge base performs significantly better than a comprehensive one. Here's what a complete matter project looks like in practice. This is an M&A acquisition matter. Acme Corp acquiring TechStart under Delaware law. Buyer side, due diligence underway. The project is named Acme Corp/TechStart Acquisition, specific enough that you know exactly what it is. The instructions tell Claude it's acting for the buyer under Delaware law, with constraints on citations, defined terms, and flagging assumptions. The knowledge base contains 5 documents: the draft share purchase agreement at version 3, the signed letter of intent, the due diligence checklist, the draft disclosure schedule, and the firm's standard NDA precedent. That's it. Those 5 documents cover everything Claude needs to reference across the matter. The conversations inside this project cover the full matter arc: matter intake on day 1, rep and warranty review clause by clause, a conditions precedent tracker, client update drafts after each negotiation session. Every one of those conversations starts with Claude already knowing it's acting for the buyer under Delaware law, with access to the SPA, the LOI, and the DD checklist. No rebriefing, no re-uploading, just work. 3 things worth knowing before you start using projects on a real matter. First, conversations don't share memory with each other. Each conversation inside a project starts fresh, but it always has access to your instructions and knowledge. If you want Claude in conversation B to know what happened in conversation A, paste the relevant output across. The project doesn't do that automatically. Instructions and knowledge are shared. Conversation history is not. Second, you can update your instructions at any time. If the matter changes, new governing law, change of side, new constraint, update the project instructions. The change takes effect in all subsequent conversations. Existing conversations keep their original context. Third, knowledge documents have a size limit. Individual files should be under 30 megabytes. If you're working with very large document sets, be selective about what you upload. A targeted knowledge base performs better than a comprehensive one. One governance note worth flagging: Claude.ai projects are subject to Anthropic's data handling terms. If your firm has specific requirements about cloud processing of client documents, check those terms against your firm's information governance policy before uploading client materials. This isn't a reason not to use projects. It's a reason to do a 5-minute check before you do. 3 things that stay with you regardless of how well your project is configured. Legal research. Verify everything. Projects don't give Claude access to Westlaw, LexisNexis, or Fastcase. The instructions and knowledge base don't change that. Any case name or legal proposition Claude produces must be verified through your research tool before it goes near a filing. The Research Connector plugin addresses this, covered in the Unpacked series. The instructions don't replace the prompt. Good project instructions calibrate Claude's defaults. They don't replace the need for a clear, specific prompt in each conversation. Instructions set the context. The prompt sets the task. Both matter. The briefing episode in this tutorial series covers how to write prompts that work inside a well-configured project. And the judgment call is still yours. A well-configured project produces better Claude output, more calibrated, more consistent, less re-explanation. It doesn't change the professional obligation to review, verify, and apply judgment to everything Claude produces before it reaches a client or a court. That obligation doesn't transfer to the tool. It stays with you. A Claude project for a matter takes under 5 minutes to configure. From that point, every conversation starts calibrated. Role, jurisdiction, side, constraints, and key documents already in place. That's the compound return of a good setup. One more thing worth mentioning. We're building a complete document workflow system that lives inside a project, exactly like this, covering intake, matter build, and output for every document type a lawyer regularly works with. More on that soon. Next in this series is EP.03, document work. How to read, extract from, and work with legal documents inside Claude. Every document type, every workflow. Step by step. That's the episode. See you in the next one.